if Tyson dies, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, if you have something like that, if you have, look, if
That'd
this,
be the end of the.
right. It's just weird that we're even talking about
Right.
it.
100%.
Guy from Disney is gonna Tyson, the YouTube kid.
Boxing is very lenient. Boxing is very pliable. Boxing adjusts, and you know, all of a sudden, we'll call it a professional fight, even though the rules are not consistent with professional rules.
Joe Rogan seems to be worried about Mike Tyson as he believes that Jake Paul can seriously harm the legendary boxer. Moreover, Mike Tyson's former mentor remains skeptical about the upcoming match.
It's just been sanctioned as a professional fight, and here's the rules. The result will go on official records. Knockouts are allowed. That makes sense in a professional
That's
fight.
nice of them.
Well, I mean, that usually is the case, right? I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, what were they going to do if you punched someone too hard and knocked them out?
It's not allowed.
Hey, that wasn't allowed.
Sam, I'm a little confused. I mean, does that confuse you a little bit?
Teddy Atlas, who once coached Tyson during a short stint under custom mat, harbors doubts despite the official sanctioning by the Texas Boxing Commission. The age gap between Tyson, now 57, and his 27-year-old opponent, Paul, is significant. Moreover, the unconventional rules being implemented raise questions about the legitimacy of the bout in Atlas's eyes. In an unprecedented move, Tyson and Paul's upcoming bout is set to feature 8 rounds, each lasting just 2 minutes, a departure from the conventional 3-minute rounds. Adding to the intrigue, both contenders have opted for heavier 14-0 gloves, deviating from the standard 10-0 regulation gloves. In a statement released yesterday, Most Valuable Promotions co-founder Nisa Badarian said Tyson and Paul signed on to fight each other with the desire to do so in a sanctioned professional fight that would have a definitive outcome. Over the past 6 weeks, MVP has worked with its partners to satisfy the requirements of the TDLR to sanction Paul versus Tyson, and we are grateful that we have gotten to this point. These rule alterations have raised eyebrows in the professional boxing world, prompting renowned commentator Teddy Atlas to cast doubts on the bout's legitimacy in his recent YouTube commentary.
Not just me, right? Or Ken, right? We have company, right?
Disqualified, knocking out.
I just thought it was a good way to break the ice here with the show to start off. And the other rules are 8 2-minute rounds, not 3-minute rounds, 2-minute rounds, and 14-ounce gloves, not 10-ounce gloves. Normally pro fights are 10-ounce gloves and no headgear, which is normal for, a pro fight. Here's my question. How do you call it a professional fight if the rules you're using are not professional rules?
Teddy Atlas may have his reservations, but there's no denying that this upcoming fight is poised to carve its own path in the annals of combat sports history. The showdown between Tyson and Paul promises to leave a lasting mark on their respective careers. However, Atlas questioned how it could be termed a professional fight if the rules being utilized were not professional rules. There's a prevailing concern that this match is merely a cash grab, exploiting the moment, and Tyson's participation could result in serious injury given his age and limited recent activity in the ring.
Maybe they're in the non-binary category, given that it's 8 2-minute rounds. I'm sure the women will be happy to see someone stepping down to the shorter rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Ken. All I know is I'm really not trying to be, to pick at anything. I'm just putting the news out there, and I'm breaking it down as is our way of doing things on this show. You're calling it a professional fight. We didn't know if it was going to be professional or not. They decided to sanction it as a professional fight in Texas, but it's not the professional rules of a professional fight. It's not 3-minute rounds. It's 2-minute rounds. It's not 10-ounce gloves. It's 14-ounce gloves. Yet it's being called professional rules. Look, they can do whatever they want in boxing, right? I mean, as long as money's there, the commission's going to make money. They're going to bring money into the state. Money's going to come into the coffers for everybody.
Jake Paul has gained notoriety for engaging in high-stakes boxing matches against past UFC champions during widely watched pay-per-view extravaganzas. His conquests include notable names such as Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, Nate Diaz, and Ben Askren throughout his journey. He has openly challenged numerous other fighters, adding fuel to the fire of his formidable reputation reputation amidst his tumultuous journey in the MMA realm, Michael Bisping emerged as one of his fiercest adversaries. The ex-middleweight world champion scarcely spares a moment for his antics in the lead-up to fights with an unwavering conviction. The Brit maintains that victory for Paul in this clash is a distant dream at best. He pines Paul might secure a knockout against a seasoned legend long removed from their prime. Bisping joked during an episode of his Believe You Me podcast, "If Jake Paul loses, listen, it's Mike Tyson, but still, come on, he's 58 years old. But stop it if you lose, never show your face again." Then if Jake Paul knocks out a 58-year-old man, that's called elderly abuse. You can't win here anything other than a lot of money. Bisping remarked that it was only 2 minutes per, emphasizing that those who hadn't boxed or fought might underestimate how long 2 minutes could feel. He expressed his opinion that even though Mike Tyson was 58 and the rounds were only 2 minutes long, he believed Tyson would still become tired after 3 rounds. Bisping added, "It's only 2 minutes per round. But if you've never boxed or fought, you underestimate how long 2 minutes is." Mike Tyson, yeah, he's 58, and the rounds are only 2 minutes long. "I think he's still going to get tired after 3 rounds." Bisping observed that Jake Paul left tremendously massive openings, and highlighted that Paul had never faced anyone like Mike Tyson. He mentioned Paul's previous bout with Nate Diaz, noting that he went the distance with Diaz and emerged victorious. But Bisping clarified that he wasn't criticizing Paul, acknowledging him as a great and a cult icon. Said Jake Paul leaves tremendously massive openings, and he's never fought anyone like Mike Tyson. He went the distance with Nate Diaz. He beat Nate Diaz. And I'm not on him because he's great. A cult icon. Boxing promoter Frank Warren has also vehemently criticized the approval of Paul vs. Tyson as an official boxing match. Tyson wowed attendees at a recent gathering in Virginia with his chiseled six-pack and remarkable physique. Since the fight announcement, the pro boxer has been sharing numerous training snippets as he gears up for his bout against the YouTube sensation. The 57-year-old veteran of the ring hasn't stepped into professional boxing since 2005. However, a notable exception was an exhibition bout against Roy Jones during 2020, which ended in a draw. Warren, renowned for his promotion of Tyson Fury, has recently shared his insights on the forthcoming clash in Texas. Speaking to Top Report ahead of the fight, Warren said, "I'm a big fan of Jake Paul as a PR promoter and his Bison's partner Nisa Badarian. They're very smart operators, and they obviously see that this fight will generate public interest and money." The boxing community has stirred up criticism over the approval of the match, leaving Warren astonished by its sanctioned status. Warren pointed out that Mike Tyson shouldn't be engaging in fights, stating it as a straightforward matter. He expressed surprise at the fact that Texas had licensed a 58-year-old to fight, suggesting that such a decision might be more acceptable if it were an exhibition match. Warren added, "But let's get it right, Mike Tyson is 58 years of age, and he shouldn't be fighting. It's as simple as that. If it was an exhibition, you'd get half away with that." But the fact that Texas has licensed the 58-year-old to fight, Warren emphasized that anyone with even a bit of common sense would recognize the absurdity of the situation. Drawing a vivid comparison, he likened it to being stuck in a traffic jam on a motorway only to find out that everyone had stopped just to look at a crash. He implied that the fascination with Tyson's fight at his age was similarly pointless and unproductive. According to Warren, what does anybody need to say about that? Anyone with an ounce of brains knows that it is ridiculous. Let's get it right. You can be on a motorway stuck in a traffic jam, and you get to the end of it, and all it is people who have stopped to look at a crash. And that's what this is. Warren elaborated that initially viewers might witness what he termed as vintage Mike Tyson, where Tyson would come out aggressively throwing powerful punches. However, he predicted that after that initial burst, it would essentially be a 58-year-old man in the ring with a younger opponent. He added, "What will happen for one round is you're going to get vintage Mike Tyson. He'll come out throwing bombs for one round, and then it'll be a 58-year-old guy in the ring with a younger fella." Meanwhile, Paul confesses to feeling jittery about confronting Tyson in the ring after witnessing his remarkable training footage as the fight approaches. The ex-pro boxer is evidently leaving nothing to chance. Iron Mike will mark his 58th birthday by the time he faces off against the problem child. Nevertheless, judging from his most recent workout video, you would assume the American is still in his prime due to his quickness, strength, and explosiveness. Paul admits the clips have made him a little nervous. During a conversation on the BS with Jake Paul podcast, the problem child's brother Logan Paul asked, "When you see Mike Tyson hitting those pads, do you get a little nervous?"